Our story starts off with Gura running, chasing after Amelia Watson. They're both smiling and laughing, just having a good time. While running, Amelia looks back at Gura and calls her a slowpoke before she jumps over a ledge. After doing so, a splash is heard on the other side of that ledge, which causes Gura to smirk and call Amelia dumb for thinking that she can get away in water. As Gura jumps over the ledge and into a water, she starts to swim fast and far, expecting to catch up to Amelia, but stops when she doesn't see her around. She looks around for a bit, and when she doesn't see her in the vast sea, she calls out to her. When Gura looks around, she calls out to Amelia, and when she gets no response, she tries to swim back in the direction she came from. No matter how far, no matter how long or how fast she swims, it just seems endless. She stops and looks around again, but when her back is turned, we see that the camera gets obscured by Sana's back. When Gura turns to where she would have been, we see that she is gone. The same thing would happen again with Fauna, with her back covering parts of the screen. When Gura turns to where she would be, she disappears. Gura eventually looks up and sees Mume standing on the surface of the water, but facing away from her. Gura calls out to her in surprise, but Mume starts to walk away. Gura tries to swim up to her, but finds that she can't break through the surface of the water. Instead of just trying to break through the water, she ends up swimming after her. Yet despite her speed, she cannot seem to catch up to her. When she looks up ahead, she sees Amelia, Sana, and Fauna also standing above the surface of the water and looking out towards Mume as if waiting for her. Gura decides to swim up to them, but again, no matter how fast she swims, they begin to fade into the distance. Gura reaches out and eventually calls out for Amelia before suddenly jolting awake. As Gura wakes up, she gets out of bed and rushes to her drawer. She quickly pulls out Amelia's pocket watch. Once her mind caught up to her, Gura stares at the stopwatch, confused and shaken by the dream. She doesn't understand why she had this dream again. She hasn't seen them in a long time. She knows Mume was planning on something, but she wasn't sure, as she didn't really tell anybody. She just said that she wanted to do something. She wonders if that dream was a warning that she may never see Mume again. Her hands begin to shake as tears start to fall from her face. Time passes as we see Gura hanging out with Kiara, Karoni, and Panthera. They're all just talking and playing games together, just hanging out. During the conversation, Gura brings up Mume and asks if any of them seen her recently. They all said that she has, with Karoni being the one who saw her most recently. She mentions that Mume's house is basically packed up already. Mume didn't tell them everything, but Karoni suspects that she's just moving, maybe to a different city, as when she told her that she was planning something, it sounded a bit serious. Gura listens and hesitates if any of them has heard from Amelia or Sana. None of them has, which causes Kiara to ask why is Gura asking about this. But Gura just tells a half joke, saying that she just had a dream about Amelia. They all accept this explanation. After all, it wouldn't be the first time they had dreams about friends that have left. After a bit of time passes, Gura checks her phone. She suggests that they should get going, as if they want to bring stuff for Kylie's cookout, now would be the perfect time, to which they all agree. When Gura and the group arrive at the grocery store, each of them spread out to gather ingredients to be brought to Kylie's cookout. However, Gura keeps adding snacks and candy to their cart instead of actual food. When Gura jogs back to their cart with more candy, Kiara stops her, telling that Gura doesn't really grab this much sweets, and the only time she does is when something is bothering her. Gura tries to deflect it, saying that she's just been craving candy. She says she'll go put it back and goes off to put the candy she has in her arm back. While walking back, Gura scolds herself for letting this happen. Out of the three, Kiara knows her the best and knows that Gura only uses candy as comfort food. After putting the candy away, Gura goes to head back towards Kiara, but once she turns the corner, she ends up bumping into somebody, which causes them to drop their basket. Gura apologizes and bends down to pick up any of the items that fell out of the basket, but she freezes when she hears this person's voice. She looks up and sees a woman with green eyes and short blonde hair. Gura stares for a moment and quietly asks, "Ame?" The girl tilts her head in confusion, asking, "Who?" This causes Gura to snap out of her trance and apologize to her, saying that she sounded just like her best friend, Amelia Watson. The girl just laughs and apologizes for not being the person she thought she was. She introduces herself as Doobie and offers a handshake, which Gura accepts. Doobie asks if something is wrong, which surprises Gura. She ends up asking if it was obvious that something was bothering her, but Doobie says that it wasn't obvious. She just has a sixth sense for this stuff. She did pick it up from working as a train conductor. She always wants to make sure her passengers has a nice ride to their destination. This causes Gura to pause and look away. After a moment of silence, Doobie asks if it's about her friend, which Gura turns back in surprise. Doobie can tell that from the tone in Gura's voice when she said the name. She've heard it many times, so it was obvious. Doobie ends up teasing Gura and asking if this Ame was more than just a friend, causing Gura to blush and deny it. Doobie ends up laughing at Gura's reaction, but the moment is cut short when Doobie's alarm goes off. When she checks it, she sees that she is running late. Having to cut the conversation short, Doobie says that it was great meeting Gura and tells her that if she ever needs to talk, then she can find her. She ends up walking past Gura before she can fully process the moment. When Gura turns to her, she asks how will she find her. Doobie turns back and says that she will. Plenty people have when they needed to. As Doobie leaves the aisle, Gura runs after her, asking what does she mean. But when she turns the corner, she sees that Doobie is gone. Gura just stands there silently, but the silence is broken when she hears Kiara's voice calling out to her. Gura turns to see her with the others. Kiara asks what took her so long, which Gura needs a moment to process and think of an answer. And when she does, she once again tells a half-truth, saying that she was helping somebody. After getting the answer, they tell her that they're about to check out, to which Gura just says that she's right behind them. When they turn to go to the checkout, Gura notices that there is something in her hand. When she looks down at it, she sees a golden train ticket. Time passes again as we're now at Callie's cookout. Everyone is there. Stepping out of the story, it is everyone from Hollow EN, Myth to Justice. Going back in, they're all present and enjoying themselves. Some are eating, some are just talking, and some are enjoying their time in the pool. Mume is there too, smiling and participating. She is currently chatting with Koroni, but her eyes easily start to drift over to Gura, who is just sitting off to the side with some food. Mume excuses herself as she walks over to Gura. When she sees her, Gura perks up and greets Mume. They exchange a brief conversation before Mume says that she knows something is up, which surprises Gura and gets her a little nervous. Mume says that Gura shouldn't be looking so down. Today is her send-off day, so it should be filled with smiles. This also surprised Gura, as she realized that Mume didn't really know what was going on. Gura admits that Mume is right. She is sad about Mume heading off. Mume just smiles and says that they should be playing instead of moping. She grabs Gura's arm and pulls her out of her seat, but as she does, the golden train ticket falls out of Gura's pocket. When she notices it, she pulls her arm away to go grab it. When Mume turns back, she was going to ask why did Gura do that, but stops when she sees the ticket. As Gura goes to put the ticket away in her pocket, Mume asks, "You too?" which causes Gura to stop. She slowly turns as she sees Mume pulls out the same golden ticket. Before she can fully process it, Mume asks if Gura is planning to leave too, but Gura doesn't respond. Her foot even shifts back in uncertainty. Mume tells Gura that she needs to tell everyone. Since everyone is here, now's the perfect time to do so. She tries to drag Gura to the center, but Gura once again pulls her hand away and quickly tells her not to say anything. She admits that she doesn't know what to think right now. Mume understands, as she explains that she had to think about this for a long time too, before she decided to leave. She reassures Gura that she won't force her to speak, but if she wants, she can jump in, as she's going to announce to everyone what her plan was. As Mume goes to walk in the center to make her announcement, everything finally catches up to Gura from when Mume sat down to talk to her. She realized that what Mume meant by leaving. Once this realization hits, Gura just stops hearing anything. But when she looks around, she can see the emotion on everyone's face, a mix of shock, sadness, and surprise. As we focus on Gura, time would pass to the day of Mume's departure. Everyone is at the train station saying their goodbyes to Mume. When Mume walks up to Gura, she gives her a hug and a reassuring smile. Gura watches as Mume walks towards the train, where Doobie is waiting at the door. As Mume enters the train, Doobie's eyes lock onto Gura. When Doobie walks up to her, she asks if she's coming, but Gura just takes a step back in response. Doobie nods as if she was expecting this answer. And so, she walks back to the train, enters it, closes the door, and starts it up. As the train starts pulling out of the station, People begin to disperse and leave. And by the end, only Callie, Kiara, Ina, and Gura remain. Ina asks what she meant when asking if Gura was coming too. Gura doesn't respond. Kiara pushes, saying Gura has been acting off lately. Gura doesn't respond again. She even takes a step back and looks away. Callie presses even further by asking directly if Gura was planning to leave as well. Being bombarded with all these questions puts so much weight on Gura that she can't hold it in anymore. She slowly pulls out her golden train ticket. She tells him that she doesn't know. She doesn't know anything. When Mume told her that she had this ticket too and asked the same thing, she just didn't have an answer. She's been thinking about it ever since. She doesn't know, which confuses her. She loves the town and everyone's in it. She's happy, but as Gura continues to struggle, Callie asks if she's content in her life, which causes Gura to look up in surprise. Callie repeats the question, "Are you content in your life?" Gura just takes a moment and just says, "I don't know." This shocks everyone but Callie. Even Gura is shocked by her response. Callie says that she understands. She had that thought too. She explains to Gura that one day she's going to have to return to the underworld and to continue her job as a reaper. But by doing so, she would have to give up the soul that she developed here. She knows that this will happen one day, and she's content with that. But Gura is shocked to hear about this. Callie is content with not only leaving her friends behind, but the thing that attached them together, their souls. After a quiet moment, Ina offers to take Gura home, which Callie and Kiara agree. As they begin to walk away, Gura takes Ina's hand, and Ina can feel the emotion in Gura's grip. By the time night falls, Gura is sitting on her bed, hugging her knees. She's deep in thought, reflecting on Callie's question. Is she content with her life? Is she not? She's happy with her life, but that's not the same as being content. She was at one point. She was certain of it at one point, at least. When it was just the 5 of them, she was still content. When the others started coming in too, she was still content as well. When Sana left, a little sad, sure, but she was still content with her life currently. But when Amelia left, was she content? She didn't think about it at the time. But all she remembered was that she was sad. She convinced herself that it was still going to be okay, as they could still talk over the phone, video chat and all that, but they didn't. Gura finally realized that she has not talked to Amelia since she left. She started thinking about Sana and Fauna, realizing that she has not contacted them at all either. She reaches for her phone and to check her contacts. When she pulls up Amelia's number, she tries to call it, but it's immediately shot down when the line says that the number was unavailable. She quickly tries Sana and Fauna, only to realize that their number is unavailable as well. She hesitates when she looks at Mume's number. After what felt like minutes, she calls, but once again, the line says that the number is unavailable. Gura slowly pulls her phone away as the reality sets in. As it does, her room begins to fall apart, and soon after, the floor underneath her. She falls into an abyss, surrounded by images of her life with her friends, her connections and accomplishment. It all just passes by her. Just nothing feels right anymore. Not even herself. She begins to hear a voice calling out to her, calling her name, but she can't identify who is calling them. When she hits the ground, she quickly picks herself back up and looks around. After looking for a few moments, she finds Callie in the distance. She runs up to her, calls out to her, but no matter how fast she runs, she isn't getting any closer. Callie turns away and walks silently into the void. Gura once again calls out to her, but Callie soon disappears. She stops and looks around again and finds Kiara, but the same things happen again. She runs to her, but no matter how fast she runs, she can't catch her. Kiara turns and walks into this distance. This happens one more time, but with Ina, as she too walks away. It fades into the distance as Gura chases after her. Tears are already starting to fall from her face. After being left alone for a few moments, she hears her name being called again. When she turns to see where that's coming from, she sees Amelia with her back turned to her. Gura once again runs to her, but instead she is able to reach her. As she reaches her, she hugs her and cries. After crying for a few moments, Gura looks up, but is shocked when he sees that Amelia's face is gone. She lets go and backs away, but she soon hears others calling her name as well. She turns to see Fauna, Sana, and Mume all there but without their faces. This causes Gura to fall to her knees and scream while clutching her head, just begging for it to stop. She is sobbing at this point. After a few moments have passed, she begins to hear a voice, a clear voice, that's telling her it doesn't have to be this way. When she looks up, she sees a figure that she can barely make out. The figure continues, saying that this won't happen unless you make it happen. But Gura just responds saying that they're not around anymore. They all wanted to do their own thing and now they're gone. After sobbing a bit more, she hears another voice that says we'll never be gone. Once Gura hears this, and unbeknownst to her, the void that she is in starts to swirl and fade to whiteness as if being sucked up. When Gura looks around her shoulder, she sees Callie, Kiara, Ina, and Amelia all there with her. Amelia tells her that no matter what, they'll always be together, even when apart. When Gura looks back at the figure, she sees that figure is also surrounded by 4 others. Before everything fades, the figure just says to not be afraid to take the step. When Gura wakes up, she sees Kiara looking over her. Once she registers that she is awake, Gura jokes up, unknowingly sending a small 10cm Baku flying off her head. As Kiara tells her to take it easy, Ina catches the Baku. When Gura asks what happens, Callie explains that Gura had fallen into a comatose state since the day Mume left. They didn't realize it until a week later when she wasn't replying to their messages. They had to call Miss Nume, the Baku that Ina caught, to help, but it was very expensive as she doesn't really do home visits. Miss Numi cuts in, saying that she's going to charge extra for being thrown like that. When she hears Miss Numi's voice, Gura can only think of Fauna. After taking Miss Numi to her assistant, who is also her ride, the room falls into a silence. After the moment of silence, Gura tells him that she has an answer to Callie's question. She is not content with her life. The other gives her a knowing look as the scene fades to the train station, the same station that they saw Mume off. Before Gura steps forward, they ask if she is sure and that she's not just running away. Gura replies that she knows what she's doing. She tells them that she's been holding on tightly to her friends who have left, and that she needs to stop doing that. And she thinks the best way to do that is to let go and find herself. They all accept this and give her a big hug, individually and as a group. Once Gura boards the train, the door closes and takes off. The other stands at the station, watching it go off in the distance. Kiara asks Callie if she recognizes that train, to which Callie does. When Ina asks about what they're talking about, Callie just says that it's kinda like the river Sanzu. However, instead of it being for the dead, this one seems to be for the living. After a moment, Ina asks if they'll ever see Gura again, to which Callie replies that they will. After all, they did see some old friends. On the train, Gura sits alone, watching as the land passes by. Doobie walks up to her, crouches down and asks where her destination is. Gura doesn't know, which Doobie tells her to not worry about, as most passengers don't know either. Doobie suggests Gura takes a nap. They have a lot of time ahead of them. Gura nods, sits back, and slowly closes her eyes. As she does, Doobie smiles. She pulls out her pocket watch to check the time, and when she closes it, she walks towards the front of the train. As Gura sleeps, her head begins to lean to one side and slowly falling towards it. But she is stopped when her head lands on her shoulder, Amelia's shoulder. She is surrounded by Amelia, Sana, Fauna, and Mume as the screen fades to white.